Hello students, today we are going to continue class 12 physics chapter number 4, that is moving charges and magnetism. In this video we are going to discuss the topic cyclotron, right? So first of all, let us see what is cyclotron. Cyclotron is a type of device which is used to accelerate the charged particles to high speed to a high energy, right? A particular device with which the charged particles can be accelerated and to the high energy. So it is a device used to accelerate charged particles to very high energies, right? So why we require this device? Why we require that the charged particles should be accelerated to a high energy? Because if we are having the accelerated charged particle and if it is having high energy, then with that high energetic charged particle, that can be used for the bombardment of the nuclei, right? If we throw a charged particle, high energetic charged particle, then and only then it can be bombarded to the nuclei, so that we can study the nuclear structure and the resulting nuclear reactions, right? So let us first see the purpose of the cyclotron, why we are using it. It is used to study the nuclear reactions. It is used to study nuclear structure as well, right? Because see, for suppose we are taking a proton, right? Then if I take a proton with suppose less energy and with less velocity, if it is taken near the nucleus, and we know that nucleus consists of proton, right? Then proton gets repelled, right? And that proton cannot enter into the nucleus, right? But if that proton is having high energy, then it can be bombarded to the nucleus, right? With high energy, it can enter to the nucleus and there will be resulting nuclear reaction. So we can study the nuclear reaction if the proton is having that much high energy, so that it can bombard the nuclei. As well as we can study the nuclear structure. Next thing, it is inserted in the solid to change its property and thus synthesize new material. Another use of that is what? This charged particle, high energetic charged particle, can be inserted into a solid material. Now see, every material has its own properties, right? But when something new enters into it, right? We say if an iron enters into the solid, then what happens? Its properties gets changed, right? Suppose we have a material, we have a solid material, and if we want that its conductivity should change, either it should increase or it should decrease, right? Accordingly, we can insert a particle into that. We can change its electrical conductivity. So because its property is changed, it can be considered as the new material with new property. So when we want to change the property of the material, we need to insert the charged particle into that solid. So here I have said what is cyclotron. Cyclotron is a type of device which is used to accelerate the charged particles to very high energy. And why we are using that? Why we require the high energetic charged particle? To study the nuclear structure or to study the nuclear reaction. As well as we want to change the property of the material, right, then the charged particle can be inserted into that, right? The charged particle can be inserted into the solid, so its properties can be changed in whatever ways we require, and we can make or we can synthesize new material with the help of that. So this is the uses of the cyclotron. So you may note down what is cyclotron and for what purpose it is used. Now see, let us see what is the principle of this cyclotron, right? We have seen what is it, for what purpose it is required, right? And how this cyclotron is made. We need to know its principle as well as its construction. So it is based on two principles. It is based on two principles because here we are going to use the electric field as well as the magnetic field, right? Why we are using electric field? Here electric field is used to accelerate the charged particle. A charged particle is accelerated by the electric field, right? If the charged particles remains in the electric field for several times, right, then it is accelerated to high energy. Another thing that here we are going to use the magnetic field. What happens when the charged particle, a moving charged particle, if it is put in the magnetic field region? We know that a charged particle, when it is put in the magnetic field region, then it exhibits circular path. Right? When a charged particle is put into the electric field, it gets accelerated. And when the moving charged particle, when it is put in the magnetic field, it exhibits circular path. These we are already known, right? How this charged particle gets accelerated due to electric field? Because see, we are having equation F is equals to QE, right? Electric force is equals to the charge into the electric field, right? Then what will be the acceleration? Acceleration is equals to F by m. And that F by m, it is equals to Q E by m, right? So when the charge particle is put into the electric field, the electric force is provided to that and that gets accelerated, right? But these charge particles should remain in the electric field for several times, right? Because see, that we will understand through its construction why the charge particle should remain within the electric field for the several times. But here the second point, why we are using the magnetic field? Because when the moving charge particle is put in the magnetic field region, that it exhibits the circular path. So it is based on these two principles. We require the electric field as well as the magnetic field. But here, what is the condition that electric field and magnetic field should be perpendicular to each other, right? Electric field and magnetic field should be perpendicular to each other, and so such field is called as the cross fields. This is very important. The electric field and magnetic field should be perpendicular to each other. So here we are going to use the cross fields. So you may note down this principle. It is based on two principles. First of all, it is put in the electric field so that it gets accelerated to high energy. so that it exhibits the circular path, and cross field is required over here. So you may note down this. Now let us see how this cyclotron is constructed. Right? Construction. See, already said that it is based on two principles, that the charged particle, when it is put in the electric field, it gets accelerated, and the charged particle, when it is put in the magnetic field, it exhibits the circular path. Right? That means here already said that here we are using the crossed fields. Crossed field means what? The electric field and the magnetic field should be perpendicular to each other, and to create the electric field we need charges. To create the magnetic field we need here the magnets, as you can see in this figure. Right? These D1 and D2. Right? This is what it is actually like this. See. Metallic hollow cylinders are used. These are semi-cylinders, right? So it is, if you view like this, it will this D. And why it is said as D's? Because it is in the shape of D. So here we are using two hollow metallic semi-cylinder material, right? Semi-cylinders we are using. This is D1 and this is D2. It is D1 and D2, and because it is of the shape of D, it is also called as D's. So what we are using over here first, that is two hollow metallic cylinders are used. D1 and D2. It is also called as D's. Right? So here we are using two D's. Right? Now see, why we are using this D's? Because here the charged particle will be moving from this source. Then where this charged particle will come from? Because we need over here the charged particle should be accelerated with high energy. That means first I need the source of the charged particle from which I get the charged particle. So here there is a point P where the beam of charged particle comes. So a charged particle, beam of charged particle is inserted between these two hollow cylinders. Here there is a beam of charged particles, or you can say it is source of the charged particles which is put between these two cylinders. Right? So what we are having next? The beam of charged particles is injected between two D's, between the D's, right? Okay, so here is the source of the charged particle from which we will be getting the charged particle that will be accelerated to the high energy. Now see, the second principle that we were having, that there should also be the magnetic field, right? So what we are doing over here, these two D's are mounted between the two magnets. These two D's, D1 and D2, are mounted between two magnets. The lower magnet, it is having the north pole, and the upper magnet, that is having the south pole. So this is the way these are mounted between the two magnets. Now as you can see over here, there is the north pole and here lines will be generated from the north pole to the south pole. So next what we are having, these are mounted between two magnets, right? Okay, so this is the construction. We are having the two metallic hollow cylinders, right? D1 and D2. And why it is called as these? Because of its shape. It is of the shape, so it is called as these. Next we are having the source of the charge particle, through which the charge particle is we are getting, and the charge particle which gets accelerated to high energy. And the magnets are there for which the magnetic field is produced, and because of that magnetic field the charge particle exhibits the circular path. Okay. Now as you can see over here, in this diagram, these are the 2Ds. Here let us consider a charge plus 2, right? Over here this dot shows what? It shows the magnetic field out of paper, right? That means the magnetic field lines will be coming outside. Okay. So these 2Ds are connected to the oscillator. These are connected to the oscillator. These are connected to the oscillator. Oscillator means what? It is a type of device that will be generating the high voltage, right? So here the Ds are connected to high AC voltage and high frequency. It is having high frequency. Now as you can see, there is a deflector, right? Deflector means what? Something that will be deflecting. Here there is an exit of the particle, charged particle, right? So when the charged particle, after accelerating, after getting high energy, when it comes over here, this through this deflector it gets deflected, and from this it will be coming out of this construction. So the deflector is used to deflect the charged particle and take it out of the chamber. Okay. This whole thing, this whole device, that is the cylinders as well as the magnet, the whole thing is mounted in a high vacuum, right? It is put in a high vacuum, right? Why high vacuum is used? Because when the charged particle moves inside, it should not collide with any of the other particle. So if there is air molecule, then the charged particle will collide with the air molecules and it may deflect, it may change its direction, right? So for that, all these things, that is the magnet as well as this tube, this whole arrangement is put in a high vacuum. There is no air molecule inside. Students, first of all you may note down this construction, then we will see how this cyclotron works. Now let us see how this cyclotron works. Now see, you have understood the arrangement. Here we are having the semi-cylinders, right? Here we are having 2Ds. At the center we are having the beam of the charged particle, right? And this dot indicates what? That the magnetic field lines are outwards, right? As I have already written over here, magnetic field lines is out of the paper. These 2Ds are connected to the oscillator. At the center we will be having the charged particle. and here we are having the deflector. Now see what happens. First of all, let us start with the charge particle that is injected from this source, right, that comes out of the source, and let that be a proton. Let us consider that a proton. Here that is a plus q charge. Now see, these, because of this oscillator is connected to the wheel, let us say that here at the edges let a potential difference is created like this, because it is connected to the supply, right? So because of the supply, the potential difference is created. The positive charges are at this end and the negative charges are at this end. Now see, because of that, we already know that electric field line emerges from the positive charge and terminates to the negative charge. So what happens? The electric field lines are in this direction, from the positive to the negative, right? Over here, let us understand. Okay, here I am having a plus q charge, or let me draw it bigger so you can understand it very clearly. So electric field lines are generated like this. I am having a plus q charge at the center between the gap of the Ds. So what happens? Now this charge, when it is placed in the electric field, then what happens? It gets accelerated, right? As I have shown the equation, F is equals to QE, right? Then acceleration is equals to what? That is F by m, which is equals to QE by m, right? So charges gets accelerated when it is put in the electric field, and where it will move, where it will go? It will go towards this side, right? Because my electric field line is in this direction towards the negative charge, the charge will move in this direction. So it comes over here, right? From the gap towards the D2, right? The charge comes from the center towards the D2 with, and that means it is accelerated. It is accelerated by what amount? QE by m, where m is what? It is the mass of the charge, right? E over here is the electric field and Q is nothing but the charge, right? So these charge gets accelerated and it moves towards the D2. But when it enters into the D2, when it enters into that hollow semi-cylinder, then what happens? As I have said that in the hollow cylinder inside, the electric field will be 0, right? Here the electric field will be 0. That means what? Now it will not be accelerated. So what happens over here? When the charge enters over here, electric field will be 0. But due to the magnetic field, where it moves in a circular path, right? It moves in a circular path, and when it comes out of the D2, it will be, because of the magnetic field, it moves in a circular path. But when it comes over here, again between this D1 and D2, when it comes out of D2, at that time what happens? At that time, here, because of the AC supply, the polarity gets changed. So this becomes positively charged and this D2 becomes negatively charged. So what happens now? The electric field line also reverses from D2 to D1, that is from positive to negative, right? So what happens when charge comes over here? The polarity of D1 and D2 also reverses, and when the polarity of D1 and D2 reverses, right, then what happens? The direction of the electric field line also reverses, and so now the charge which has come over here, now it will be moving, it will be accelerating towards D1, right? It will be now having the higher energy. Now what happens? Again when it enters into D1, again because it is hollow, there will not be any electric field. So now what happens? Because of the magnetic field, here see, there will not be any acceleration. So it will be moving with its particular velocity, its constant velocity. Here let us say, suppose it was moving with velocity v0, right? It gets accelerated over here. Now when it enters over here, electric field is 0. So what happens? There will not be any acceleration, but it will be moving with its particular velocity because it was initial having v0. After acceleration, its velocity, that means it gets changed to v1. It will move with that velocity v1 and come over here, right? Here it gets accelerated, so it moves with say velocity v2. But when it enters inside v1, its electric field becomes 0. That means what? It will be moving with the constant velocity, that is v2. And now because of the magnetic field, the charged particle exhibits the circular path, and again it moves like this and comes again between this D1 and D2. When it comes between D1 and D2, again the polarity gets changed. Again over here, this becomes positive charge, this becomes negative. Right? Again the direction of the electric field reverses. So what happens? Again this charge gets accelerated and it moves into D2. So every time what happens? The charge gets accelerated due to the electric field, but when it enters into the hollow cylinder, inside the cylinder there will not be electric field, so magnetic field, due to that magnetic field, it will exhibit circular path. But what happens? Now see, here as you can see that instead of completing that circular path, it is moving, it is having a spiral shape, right? Why this is spiral shape? Why its radius keeps on increasing? That we need to know. Now see, as you can see that the charged particle, when it comes over here, electric field is 0, and at that time magnetic field works. And because of the magnetic field, it exhibits the circular path. And when it comes over here, again electric field takes charge. Because of the electric field, it gets accelerated. But now over here, instead of going to the same path, inside the electric field is 0, but now it moves with greater velocity, and so it will be having the greater radius. Now because of the magnetic field, it exhibits the circular path. But the semicircle will be of higher radius. Why it is so? Because see, when the moving charge is put in the magnetic field, it will be having moving in the circular path, and that is due to the magnetic force. So mv square by r, that is the centripetal force, is provided by the magnetic force, right? So these equations we have already seen, so V gets cancelled, and if we take R as the subject, that is mv upon qb, right? Here m is what? It is mass of the charge, v is the velocity, q is the charge of the particle, and b is the magnetic field. Here r is what? It is the radius of the circular path which the charged particle with which the charged particle moves in the circular path. Now see, here it is dependent on what? It depends on the velocity, because see, mass is constant, mass of the charged particle is not going to change. This charge will be constant, magnetic field is constant. So here what is happening? Because of the electric field, the charged particles gets accelerated, right? So velocity over here increases, and when velocity increases, the radius also increases. So every time when the velocity increases, I have already said that from this portion, when the charge moves, charge gets accelerated. Accelerated, that means what? The velocity increases. So when the velocity increases from v0 to v1, when it enters into this d1, right, electric field will be 0. So inside the d, velocity now it is constant, that is with v1 it is moving, right? And because of the magnetic field it is exhibiting the circular path and it comes over here with the velocity v1, right? Because of the electric field again it is accelerated, that means what? Its velocity increases. That means over here its velocity, let us say that it increases from v1 to v2. So when it comes over here, let us say its velocity has increased from v1 to v2, right? But inside that the electric field is 0. So the charged particle moves with its constant velocity, that is v2. But here you can see that here velocity is v1, but when it enters into d1 its velocity is increased, right? It has become now v2. So according to this equation, because the velocity increases the radius also increases. So inside this the magnetic field, what it will do? It will take this charged particle in a circle, right? It gives a circular path to this charged particle with greater radius. So with the velocity v2, and when it comes over here, right? Say with velocity v2 only. So now what happens? Again the charged particle is exerted, it is put into the electric field. So what will electric field do? It will accelerate the charged particle. That means here the velocity will be increased due to the electric field. So let us consider here, it moves with greater velocity, it is accelerated. So it comes over here with the velocity v3. But inside it electric field is 0. So again the magnetic field comes into picture and it takes the charged particle in the circular path. But here now the radius will be greater. Why? Because now velocity has increased from v2 to v3. So this is the scenario. Between the gap there will be electric field generated. So when the charged particle is between the gap, the electric field accelerates the charged particle. The velocity increases. But when it comes into D, the electric field will be 0, and at that time the magnetic force occurs on the charged particle and it allows the charged particle to move in the circular path, right? And every time it moves from one D to another D, what happens? The radius increases, right? Why the radius increases? But because every time it moves, its velocity keeps on increases, so its radius increases. So what happens over here? It moves in a spiral path like this from one D to another, right? And when it comes near the deflector, then what happens? Now see, this deflector, it will be negatively charged. Why? Because see, here we have taken a positive charge, positively charged particle that is moving between the Ds, right? And when it comes over here, because this deflector is negatively charged, so that positive charge gets attracted to the deflector. So this deflector attracts the positively charged particle and through this it gets excited, right? So these arrangement is simply for what? This arrangement is to put the charged particle for the maximum time so that it gets accelerated into that and it can attain high energy. To attain high energy, it is necessary that the charged particle should remain in the electric field for the longer time, because here you can see that the distance between these two Ds is very small, right? So the electric field will be generated over here with this small displacement, and over here we can see that the AC voltage is very high, and we have already studied this equation. V is equals to ED, right? So we can say that E is equals to V by D. So how this high electric field is generated here? The potential difference is very high. The voltage that we are giving over here, that is very high, and the distance between that two potential difference is very low. So here we can generate the high electric field, right? So the charged particle gets accelerated with high energy, right? And it exhibits the circular path. Why we need that? It should the magnetic field is there to provide the circular path so that it remains in the electric field for a very long time, right? Okay, so now it gets deflected from the deflector. Now see, what is important over here, this polarity is changing. Then how can we know that when the charge particle from here, when it comes over here between the gap, between the D in the gap, the polarity changes. We need to adjust this, right? Because see, if the charge comes over here and if still the polarity remains positive and negative, then what happens? Instead of going to the opposite direction, it again goes to D2, right? So to get the charges from D1 to D2, again to D2, again to D1, that is in the spiral form, we need that whenever the charge comes back to gap, at that time the polarity should change immediately, right? So for this we need to adjust that, right? And we know for one circular path, right, what is the time? T is equals to 2 pi m upon q, right? This is the periodic time taken by the charged particle to complete one revolution. So what will be the frequency? F is equals to what? Reciprocal of the periodic time, that is T. That is qb upon 2 pi m. So you need to adjust this. You need to take this frequency. That is, here I have written that the oscillator should have a high AC voltage and high frequency. Then that frequency should match the frequency of this oscillation, right? And that is equals to qb upon 2 pi m. This is also called as cyclotron frequency. This is also called as cyclotron frequency. Now see, when the charged particle it comes over here, right? At that time it is equal, nearly equal to the D. So if from the center to this part, if it is R, right, then the radius will be what? The radius of that circular path is equals to mv upon q, right? So this is the radius of the circular path, right, when it comes near to the deflector, that is of this final circular path. So this R is equals to mv upon qb. Here R is what? It is radius of the, you can consider it as radius of the device, because it is for the last circular path which is near to this deflector, right? So R is equals to mv upon qb, that is its radius. And over here, if we take V as the subject, R is equals to mv upon qb. So here taking V as the subject, R qb upon m. This is nothing but the final speed of the charged particle, because you can see over here it moves with a particular velocity and it gets accelerated. Acceleration means what? Its velocity keeps on increasing. So initially its velocity was less and its velocity keeps on increasing when it moves in the circular path, and when it comes over here, right, where for the circular path having radius r, at that time its final speed will be v is equals to qbr upon m, where r is the radius of the D. You can consider it like that. So this is nothing but the final speed of the charged particle. Now let us see what is the kinetic energy for this charged particle, right? Kinetic energy, we know that is equals to half mv square. With what energy we can accelerate that charged particle? See, the final speed, that is v is equals to r qb upon m. So the kinetic energy will be half m, here v is what? That is qrb upon m whole square. So half m q square r square v square upon m square. So this gets cancelled. So kinetic energy will be equal to half q square r square v square upon m. This is the kinetic energy of the charged particle. So this is the final speed of the charged particle, and the energy attained by the charged particle is equal to half q square r square v square upon m. So this is the two important thing you should note down: the final speed as well as the